3 weeks into Melee and I feel so happy with my progress.
Nice, that's it. For all of
Thank
you
you for motivating me into starting my Melee journey.
you guys are learning Melee, just remember that every month or every other month saying that I'm gonna quit, it's not funny, it's not amusing, it's nothing. It's like, bro, that's just like not, it's like thinking with your ass. I'm gonna speak to you guys like the way I'm a tough love kind of guy, so I'm just gonna talk to you guys that way. It's thinking with your ass, because like you can't just expect to get into this game and put in like, I don't know, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6, 12, 24. That's not enough. You got to put a lot more time into it. This is an old game. This is not Ultimate, and this is not a roast. Ultimate is a new game. This is not a new game. So story time for a while before I'll take this shot and then I'll keep playing. You got to understand that you have to put in the time into this game because a lot of us have done the same thing. It's the same thing I was saying. My kid, I hope he never gets into Melee because I don't want him to go through the same stuff I went to. I mean, was it worth it? I skipped a lot of school. Don't skip school, by the way. I put a lot of hours into this game. Thankfully, life was good to me. I moved back to Canada. And now I'm with a great team in Golden Guardians, right? Like it sounds like the dream. But it's a lot of sacrifice as well. It's a lot of sacrifice. You gotta thank God always. Every time I got bopped, I was happy. It's like I was, and salty. No, let me try to remember. Was I salty when I got bopped back then? Like even nowadays, I don't really get salty. Like at worst, you have adrenaline and you have too much adrenaline and you want to like, you have to release it after like from your body, but it's not really salty. It's just not really. I mean, sometimes if I got like lag spikes everywhere or phantom hits or like something like that, I'll be like, well, what the fuck, you know? Of course, but it's a different kind of salt. No, I was always like, damn, you guys are good. And I had to travel 138 kilometers to the capital every time I wanted to play. I would practice with CPUs. And then I would go back like 2 weeks later. But I was always playing before that. But I mean, I guess I was kind of like lucky or talented. I don't know. I picked up quick. I've always been... I have been told in the past that I am good with my fingers and my hands. Take that as you will. I mean, if you look up the VODs, it's probably there. I don't delete VODs. The only times I've deleted VODs was the past 2 tournaments that were on this PC when I was dropping inputs. You guys know that I always review my VODs. Even if I'm lit, even if I'm traveling, I always watch what I played because it's fresh and I'll remember what I did. Whereas if I wait for the next day, I just won't remember. It's not the same feeling. And I was late and I was watching it and I was like, you know what? I'm just playing so like nothing's happening. I'm just air dodging everywhere. This is not gameplay. This is just shit. So I deleted the VODs twice. And I accept it, but I don't regret it. I accept it and I said it publicly here on the stream. Yes, I deleted the VODs. I thought it was funny. I was kind of lit, but I don't regret it because that's not a true representation of me. I'm just playing like ass because my computer I can't figure out what the issues are with my computer. You know what I mean? It's like, come on. I think that's a good merit for deleting a video, a good reason for deleting a video. Respect to all the grinders, respect to all the people that put in work into Melee, put time into Melee. Just remember to leave your, we've talked about this before as well, to have your flair in your playstyle. Try to, I would recommend you. Anyways, what I was trying to say is always remember to leave your flair, because at the end of the day, if you're playing the same way another player is playing and you're like winning all the tournaments or whatever, probably not that, but if you're like beating all the people, cool. But you got to think long term. Probably no one's going to remember you. Just straight up, no one's going to remember you. Why? Because you're generic. You're just generic. Generic is hard to remember, right? If you have something that can set you apart from other players, not even other players, this applies in IRL, right? Something that can set you apart to the other people that do the same thing you do, you're golden. Yeah, I mean, I've always thought about that. That's the way I kind of like work. Just try to not be as others. At the end of the day, you know, we're trying to do the best we can. I don't know if I'll be the best in Melee one day. I don't know if I'll be the second best or the third best or the second worst or whatever. But at least whenever the day comes and I have to go to the grave, I think it's safe to say that people will remember me. But yeah, like I was saying, if, knock on wood, car accident, it's not sad talk, it's real talk. I'm a real guy. I talk real and I give tough love. I'm as real as it gets. But you know, like, knock on wood, the day after tomorrow, you know, I get into a car accident and then I'm gone. I think it's safe to say that people will remember me. Why? Because 1, I did things differently than everyone else. 2, I came out of nowhere and I think I left a mark for myself. 3, there's a lot of people that I met IRL and, you know, what happened? People will have a good, like, they had a good perception of me. Like what I am here in front of the camera, I'm kind of like that IRL, kind of. Not as professional, but I'm kind of the same guy, is what I'm trying to say. And yeah, I was how do you call it? An innovator. I was always teaching people new things. I was always testing and teaching people new things. I was very arrogant. I've always been arrogant, but because of that arrogance, I wanted to come up with things to do my own way, and then that kind of set up a new standard on playing the characters that I play, on doing the things I do. How do you change your camera angles? Do you have foot pedals? Oh, you would love that, wouldn't you? Would you rather share a bed at a hotel for attorney with Toph, Sane, or PMD? You know what, Johnny Test Dad? I'm trying to maintain the celibacy until the day after the holy matrimony. Usually, if there's any physical contact with a man or a woman, I take 10 steps back and I walk away. It is a practice that I have maintained for a while and it has worked. I feel I will keep doing it as long as I can, because like I said, I am waiting for the holy matrimony. My body is my temple, and even so, if I can maintain it until the beyond, you know, until the afterlife, you know, I would if I could. He's in here? Okay. I was saying that Toph, for the unaware, for the uninitiated, was one of the first people. Well, he was one of the first people, but he's one of the people that had to do with my origin story, because when I moved to Toronto, he was my first teammate. I was looking for a teammate and I just couldn't find one, because, well, the usual, this guy, right? He's fucking insane. He's a fucking lunatic. He fucking needs help, right? So I don't remember what happened, but people didn't want to team with me, and Toph showed up. He was like, you know what? I want to fucking team with you. So we ended up teaming, and we did good. We beat K-Word. It was a nice story. It's one of those stories, one of those origin stories that carried me and gave, you know, how do I say it? It's stories, it's those kind of stories that Hold on, I'll keep talking after this. It's one of those stories that just like it's not a little thing, because it's not a little thing, but sometimes what I'm trying to say is those like small details that you may or may not know happened, that gave me a lot of motivation to keep doing this, right? Because at least I think it's safe to say now that things are a bit more like normalized in regards to Smash. Before there was like, I think there was a larger divide between Canada and the US. You know, I don't want to get into it, it's a long story, but you know, the US, okay, whatever, everything's happened there. In Canada, there was like what? There was like I really don't want to get into details. Anyways, there was just nothing to look forward to in Canada. Anyways, we ended up playing, we destroyed K-Word. Yes, boof, sick. There was a lot of instability, it wasn't clear. Yeah. And Toph and I teamed. I mean, we didn't win the event. It wasn't like we didn't win the event. There was nothing like probably memorable. I mean, there was memorable stuff, but it wasn't like mind-blowing what happened. There's a lot of people haven't seen that set. That was a good set. I think you should go and watch it. Me and Toph versus K-Word and Hungry Hurricane. But I'm trying to say, Toph, and I was sad that you left before, but I'm happy that you're here now. As that, yeah, I mean, I've told you that you're one of the people of my origin story. That's, I mean, you never know. Maybe if that hadn't happened, maybe I wouldn't be where I am right now. Maybe you wouldn't be where you are right now. You know, it's things that happen. It's just things of the past, and I think are just nice enough and memorable enough where you can look back and you can talk about it. Because I haven't told you like this like straight up, but I'll always be appreciative of that. Because now I am what I am, but when I was coming up, it was a bit rough, and it's hard to get your name out there sometimes, you know. So I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. You know I always love you. You know I mean, you can ask left and right. I always talk you up. I'm always loving you. I'm always throwing love your way. So just know that at the end of the day, we're on the same team now, but it's not strictly professional. There is actually a story in there. So cheers, man. Cheers to Toph. Can I see some Tophs in the chat?